Alright, this video here is going to be on how to prep a frame for a tcbros hardtail. You start out with a regular Yamaha xs650 frame, all original and all stock. There's a whole bunch of it that we don't use, but I'm going to go ahead and get this thing prepped. Make sure everything that you're going to be cutting is clean. If you can cut longer than you really need on all your cuts, if there's room for it, go back, remeasure, and then cut again just to be sure. But we're gonna go ahead and get started here. The first thing you want to do is clean up all the areas right here around your stock exhaust mount. I'm gonna leave that. Some people do, some people don't. I'm leaving that because the foot pegs that I bought from Monster Craftsman bolt right up to that, so you don't have to make your own foot peg mounts or nothing. Like I said, make sure everything's nice and clean. We'll turn this work light on so we can try and see a little better if possible. But I've cleaned everything. Right before my video started, I went ahead and I cut this one. I was like, oh crap, I should probably make a video on this because there's no real good videos on YouTube right now for doing just this part. But as you see here, I've cleaned all this up real good. You're going to cut right behind the foot pegs first. Then we're going to go underneath right here to where the bottom of your seat tube is. And we're going to cut that as low as possible. The instructions that come with the tcbros hardtail explain all this, but I wish I could have seen a video when I did my first one. Anyways, we'll move on. We go right up here. We cut both of these. I cut them a little far back. That way you don't have to worry about hitting any of the main frame you're going to be using or nothing. Then I use my grinding wheel and I grind all of it nice and flat. Then you're going to turn around, you're going to go, this video camera doesn't zoom out very far. It's a good camera, but it doesn't zoom out very far. But anyways, we go right up here to the top frame rail, the top seat tube rail here. We cut off here and here. There's, I don't know if you can see on both sides there, but we cut it off on both sides there. After you get all that cut off, this whole back end will come off, and then I'll start the video up again, and we'll get everything measured again and cut perfectly. So like I said, make sure you leave yourself as much extra room as possible. Like here, they're only calling for 3/4 of an inch from the exhaust mount out, and that's where you're supposed to cut it. Mine's probably about an inch, inch and a quarter, and so I just want to make sure. And so once it's all done, I'll measure it again, I'll make my mark, I'll cut it exactly where it needs to be cut. I'm going to stop the camera, and I will start the camera on each part of the cutting job, the cutting phase. So hope you enjoy. Okay, here we go. Like I said, this one was already cut. As you can see, I can move it. Then your second one here, I'll move back so you can kind of see where it's at. It's right here, right by your rear mount bolts for your engine. That one's cut now all the way through. And then this one up here, I started to cut, and I didn't really want to get too close to the lower weld mount, so I stopped my cut there and I moved it over just a touch, so that way I didn't have anything to worry about with cutting this thing too short. So that right there is just the left side of the bike. I'm going to flip this frame around, and we're going to go ahead and cut the other spots, and I'll take another quick video of that, and then we're going to move right down here to the very low end of the seat post and cut that as low as possible, and then this rear end should slide right off. Alright, once again, here we are. Cut the right side of the frame. We got that one's cut at the very end, at the very bottom, I should say. This one here is cut, and this one on the top is now cut. If you look at it from back here, those are the two right on top of the main frame rail, seat rail, whatever you want to call it. And then the next two down right by your rear motor mount, those two are both cut now, and both on the bottom by your exhaust. And everything is cut just a little bit long. Make sure you always cut just a little long. Don't cut perfect the first time, because if you make the simplest mistake, you will completely scrap the whole thing. So right here is where I'm going to be cutting next. We're going to go as low as we possibly can, and then as soon as that's cut through, I'll take another video before I pull this thing apart, as long as it'll stay together that long, so you can see just how this thing comes apart. So just stay with me and we'll get this taken care of. This one here takes quite a while to cut through. As you can see, it's quite a big piece to cut through, and plus you're trying to cut as low as possible, so you're really cutting through their main weld there. If we come around to the back side, you can see I'm about 3/4 the way through, and I've been cutting on this thing for, I don't know, just a couple minutes now with a Sawzall. I should have mentioned that at the beginning of the video. I just use a regular Sawzall with a metal blade to cut through all my stuff like this, and then when I'm ready to get it absolutely perfect, I use my 4.5-inch angle grinder, go through, grind or cut until it's perfect. But this right here is almost cut through. I want to stop before I cut through just in case this frame completely came apart and I didn't get to show you guys exactly what these cuts are going to look like and where you're supposed to put them. So here they are. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off, and the next video piece will be as the frame is becoming halved. So thanks. Alright, here we are again. The frame just popped apart like I thought it would as soon as I got done cutting, and yeah, as you can see, I cut mine quite low, about as low as you can possibly go. You can see right there, right at the welds. I cut right through the welds, cut it as low as possible. It's what the instructions say from tcbros for that hardtail. So the next video will be after I get the whole frame cleaned up. All these little tabs come off. Some people can leave them. I don't leave any tabs. I want it to look as clean as possible. So I'm going to grind all these tabs off. All the mounting brackets, these will be coming off. All this will be all coming off. So next time you guys see this, everything will be cut to perfect size. All these marks here where we cut will all be ground down smooth. These will be ground down smooth, and everything will be wire wheeled, so that way we can get ready to do the next stage of welding. All this has to be ground all the way down to bare metal, as you would already know. So we're going to have it all taken care of and ready to go. And so my next video, I will make a short video on what this thing looks like after everything is taken care of, and then the following video will be at the weld shop. My only recommendation is make sure you know who's welding your frame, and make sure that they're very good at what they do, because one, your life depends on this. You don't want to be riding down the road and have your frame bust in half on you or something happen. The other thing is that you don't want it to catwalk. You want it to be perfectly trued up. That way your rear end is not trying to take off in a different direction than your front end. And you want to make sure you have a good welder. I made the mistake of having a crappy welder the first time I built one of these, and it basically cost me the whole bike. It scrapped the whole frame out. So don't try this yourself if you're not a good welder. Take it to somebody, pay them. You know, they're worth every bit of what you pay them, and you pay for what you get. So if you take it to somebody cheap that doesn't know what they're doing, you're going to get a crappy job. You're not going to be happy with it, and these bikes can be really nice if you take them to the right person. So the next video will be all prepped up and ready to go to weld. So we'll see you then.